Okay. Hi guys, from the previous exercise, we basically resolve our vector component into x and y direction. Some of you might wonder, dari mana kita dapat equation sin theta, cos theta tu? Okay, let me just demonstrate a very simple trigonometric equation to you. Okay, now if this is our x-axis and this is our y-axis, and let's say I put my vector line to be a red color like this. Okay, so I'll call this vector to be A. Okay, because it's a vector, so there's an arrow on top of the A. Okay, now in common practice, we are going to resolve vector A into two components along the x and y direction. So if along the x direction, this is the direction of vector AX. And if this is along the y direction, this is the direction of vector, sorry, I want to make it bold, AY. Okay. Now, let's say we have an angle of theta over here. Okay. So if I were to, let me put a highlight over here. If I were to take out this little triangle out, okay, this little triangle out, I will get a shape like this. And something like this. So if I would, we know that the angle over here is theta, and then let's take out the magnitude of vector AX to be AX, and then the value over here, this AY, is actually the same at the opposite side. Okay, so this is our AY magnitude, and this would be our A magnitude. Okay, now remember your basic trigonometric equation, whereby sine theta, let me take sine theta. Sine theta would be opposite divided with the hypotenuse. Our opposite is AY and our hypotenuse is A. So if I take this out, AY, what's left is A sine theta. That's why we get this equation for magnitude AY. Okay, now let's use a second trigonometric relationship, which is cos theta. So cos theta is equivalent to sebelahan to theta, which is AX, divided with the hypotenuse, which is A. So if I take out this AX, what's left is A cos theta. So that is why when we want to calculate the magnitude of AX, we are going to use A cos theta instead. Okay, now let me show you a different example. Let's say if I have a vector A again over here, but instead of resolving the vector into x and y axis, this time around I want to make something different. Okay, sorry. This time around I want to resolve it in probably this direction. Let's call this direction U, and perpendicular to U is V. Okay, so how do we do this? Let's say we know the angle between U axis and the vector A. Sorry, there should be an arrow over here to be alpha. So can you calculate what is the corresponding value? So again, similarly, if I were to resolve vector A into two direction, okay, I can create the perpendicular or the rectangular shape, and this would be my AU vector. Let's call this AU. And if I were to project this over here, this would be my AV vector. Okay, now again similarly, if I take this out, this is a triangle, right? This is a sudut tepat punya triangle. So we can actually apply the same thing over here. So your AU, if you want to calculate the magnitude of AU, you simply use A cos alpha. Whereas if you want to calculate for AV is actually the same with AY over here, whereby you use A sine alpha. Okay, so when you want to resolve the vector into different direction, it doesn't matter whether that direction is in x, y axis ke, or if it's in u, v axis ke. Yang penting, when you resolve the vector into two components, it have to follow the rectangular rule or the rectangular shape, so that when you take out the half part of it, it will become the trigonometric triangle. Okay, hope this helps.